Right then, where do we want to start with that? Where should we start with that? I mean, should we even start at all? Because I mean, if I start analyzing a match or giving my thoughts and verdicts on a match, one should have had to have started a match, right? One must have started a match. The only thing that we saw tonight was a Newcastle Open training session hosted at St James's Park, and probably one of the biggest turnout for a training session on a Saturday night. That's kind of the reality of what has occurred tonight. Hope everybody is doing all right. I don't extend that question. Well, I should extend it for courtesy of keeping people's thoughts, keeping people in my thoughts and prayers who also support this club. Good to see you, Kudos. Good to see you're still awake and able to tune in to compile the misery. But sexy beast, wow, doing much better aesthetically than United's play style. Hey, United's play style aesthetically in the bin. In the bin. We don't even have a play style. What am I talking about? Play style. I have to talk about players passing the ball to each other. We don't even do that. Mate, we got 11 people on the pitch that start every midweek to weekend that just don't like each other. I'm pretty sure nobody likes each other in this team. Nobody likes the manager either. That's very apparent. Those players don't care. They don't like him. The manager doesn't like these players either. All of these things are quite apparent. But good to see you, Carl. Hope everything's good with you, man. What was the score? It was 1-0. And 1-0 is like how I describe where we saw before this weekend, where we saw Manchester United in the Premier League table. It was a complete lie. It was a complete lie. 1-0 was a complete lie. Complete and utter lie. That was not a 1-0 game. That was, on a different day, another Liverpool scoreline. Probably the worst performance under Eric Ten Hag, easily. The most non-competitive performance under Ten Hag. The most gutless performance from a lot of these players, which, by the way, same players were doing this under Ralph Rangnick, but everyone only cares about blaming managers for players not caring. Apparently it was all Ollie's fault, it was all Rangnick's fault, it's all Ten Hag's fault, from start to finish in every case and point. But Rashford can afford to get a fullback to run past him so freely, and he just not even be asked to walk at a pace. Maybe walk at a pace, like a brisk walk, like how sometimes you get the elderly at, them fun runs or, big charity runs or something. You'll see them do their fast jog, right? The things that sometimes comes up on them TikTok videos where people take the piss out of general public or something like that. Even that would have been showing off even more effort than what he'd put out on the pitch. And you know what? I wanted to be respectful with players. Marcus Rashford? Marcus Trashford. Marcus Shiteford. That guy should have got arrested in Miami with his brother. Is there more effort? No. It's the same amount of effort from them. Just arrest them both and stick them in a penitentiary, stick them in a prison somewhere, just out of the way, so we don't have to see these people. It's 9 a.m. having breakfast. Tell me about this fabled performance, mate. It's world famous. World famous. One of the worst United performances you'll ever see in your life. One of the worst you'll ever see. And that's saying something. We've had mad drabbings in the past, but none came even close to that. We literally had a shot in like the first 5 or so minutes. That was it. You talk about later on in the game, mate, Newcastle are fucking done. They're just like, well, these lot aren't going to do anything anyway, so we'll just have to go again and try our luck with scoring more than one goal next time. The fact is Newcastle, they should have won that game 6, 7, 8-0. Like, they should be pissed off that that was actually a bad performance from Newcastle in front of goal. That was a bad performance. They were not good in front of goal today. They still won the game because we wouldn't compete with them. And that's painting an image against an injury-hampered Newcastle side that have beaten us 3 times on the bounce. They've got a mad amount of injuries. They play football in such a way that's it's simple, but it's effective. And we can't live with that. That's a Newcastle side. That's not even full strength Newcastle side. Not even full strength. What's the Liverpool side going to do to that? What's the Liverpool team going to do to that? What's Mohamed Salah, Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota, Cody Gakpo? That attack against that defence, forget about it. Seriously, do not go to Anfield. Don't go. Don't get on a plane. Don't get on a coach. Don't get on nothing. Tell the Premier League, call their officers up and say, look, we are not playing this game. We forfeit. Forfeit it. You'll save time. You'll save energy. You'd spare embarrassment. You do all of these things. Don't even turn up. Because, I mean, what's the difference? Seriously, what is the difference between not going to a game and taking the forfeit as opposed to going to the game and putting in a performance as though you had already forfeited? And you say, well, I'm here now. It's minute 1. We've just kicked off. Oh, this game's over. Fuck it. It's in the bin. It's in the bin. It's all done. It's all finished. United Philosophy in the chat, Stefan, man. Big ups to this guy as well. Yeah. Did the watch along, sat through that on screen for a fat 99 minutes. And that's the best that Man United have to offer. That's the best they've got to offer. Yeah. Sick to death of saying this, but we play like we are looking for a last-minute winner from the start of every game. We play like Tony Pulis Stoke City without anyone who can win a header. It takes us till the 90th minute because Harry Maguire keeps running up front to do the job, to win headers from long balls that don't really mean anything. And you know what? That's the thing. Ten Hag ball doesn't exist. So the fact of the matter with its manager being here is futile. There's no point to him being here, but there's also no point in sacking him because what's changing? Marcus Rashford still is the highest earner at this club. Marcus Rashford. I don't even want to fucking talk about that. Absolute see you next Tuesday. Fuck him. Seriously, fuck him. Get him out of this club. Kick him out. Sack him. Fuck him off to whichever hellhole he deserves to be in. Because that guy, Manc born and bred, as the lyrics said in the Ollie song, that's the only thing he has established to United. He's born in Manchester. Fuck every other affiliation that twat has to this club, fuck him. Get fucked, Marcus. Get fucked. Seriously. Should take the 3-0 forfeit loss at Anfield. We should. We should. One shot on target in 100 minutes. And I thought that the half glass full perspective for me was that we were starting to find a way of creating the chances to score goals here, right? But then we see that, right? We see that, and it's like, well, I guess that was the false dawn. And anybody that said that was a false dawn or wasn't holding out hope that we were turning a corner, it's because we've seen this all happen before. We've seen it all happen before. So expected. United need a garage sale. We need to burn everything down. We need to burn the whole thing down. I mean, Christ Almighty, the fact. Someone, if that was at home, someone probably would have lit a match somewhere, waited for it to catch fire, and then ran away. Maybe. Daniel Sorrows and chocolate milk. I'm already way ahead of you. Way ahead of you, Tony. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well, man. Fuzzy is in a mad one. I mean, it's ironic. I mean, well, I say ironic. I mean, Lee Gunner, right? Take it as an example, right? Number 29, Kai Havertz. Guy joins his club. He's like, nah, fuck him. I don't care if he I don't care if he scores goals or anything. I'm not celebrating when he scores. I don't want him at his club. And the thing is that Marcus Rashford is one of these guys that has peddled, almost politically peddled himself into this poster child of Manchester United Football Club. He wears the number 10 shirt and he has done nothing, barring for one season, last season, right? He has disgraced that shirt at every fucking turn. He's disgraced it. It's like if, take it for example, Bukayo Saka, right? Let's say he has last season, but every other season he's ever had at this club, he's not just not performed, he hasn't put any effort in. He's walked when the ball is with an opponent next to him. He doesn't go to press him, doesn't go to make a run, doesn't go to occupy space, nothing. He just stands there and just walks around whilst somebody just jogs by him with the ball. It's like, Marcus, if you just stick your leg out or if you go to the man, you could win the ball maybe. But he doesn't do that. He just sits there and just watches it go by. Like, it doesn't make fucking sense. 99.99999% of people who don't support Man United, right, could be sat on that pitch, right? They could literally be Newcastle fans. And they would, if they were a Newcastle fan, they were sat on that pitch and they've got a Newcastle player just jogging by them with the ball. Do you think they're going to sit there in a United shirt and just go, don't care? What's the point? No, they're going to actually try and play. They're actually going to try and put a little bit of effort in, a little bit of fight, just something, yeah, to hold on hope for the fan base that supports them and cheers them on, for a club that pays them well over 350k a week. Big ups, bro. Another W for Newcastle. Good to see you, Wolfgang, mate. Another win for Newcastle. I mean, I could see it coming from a mile away, and I'm just thinking, look, I predicted a 3-0 for Newcastle. And I was thinking, look, if there is just any ounce, like even if we don't play well, just any ounce of competition, players that actually give a rat's ass about that badge, about the legacy it holds, about the people that have died for that badge. It's like, seriously, it's honestly disgraceful. It's honestly disgraceful. I'm absolutely I'm done with some of the players in that team because they have done this before. And the fact is that you would pin it on a rival club supporting player to throw a game. Marcus Rashford deliberately threw that game. He's throwing. That is absolutely throwing the game. And any normal club, right? And this is the thing: any normal club would dock his wages and just he can go piss off and play FIFA with Jadon Sancho. Seriously, just never let him back in this team ever again. Paradox, good to see you, mate. Hope we're doing all good. Too much defensive work for Mainu, only 18 years old and cannot handle. Well, that's true. That is true. Mainu in midfield just bypassed every time because McTominay was anywhere but the midfield. And that's another player that I think I hear people saying, look, McTominay, he might have turned the corner. No, screw him as well. Screw him. At least that guy has a bit of emotional attachment to Man United. Yeah, a little bit of an emotional attachment to the club. But you are not quality for this team, man. You are not quality. Out the door you go. Get gone. And Mainu is one of those players that I would ship off everybody except him, maybe Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund, guys like that. I mean, Andre Onana, what was the point? Didn't have howlers for saves today. Miraculously, I didn't have him down to start this game. But it didn't matter. I mean, our ball-playing specialist goalkeeper, the one, finally, we got rid of David De Gea for this guy, this immense goalkeeper. He is going to solve all the woes of last season. The woes of last season have not gone away. They're still here. But now we have even more woes to deal with. Fan-bloody-tastic. The guy's distribution today sucked. Absolutely sucked. So why did we spend 50 million? Does anybody know? Does anybody have any ideas? Why did we spend 50 million on a goalkeeper that cannot find a teammate? I don't understand. I just don't. I just don't. I wanted other issues fixed before the goalkeeper, but hipsters wanted the goalkeeper situation sorted first before anything else, because apparently the same team that played last season, just with Onana in goal, or with a different goalkeeper, we could be fighting for FA Cups and Premier Leagues and all of that stuff. Apparently we were a goalkeeper away from something special. Were we shit? I just don't get it. I just don't understand some of the mentalities and the thinkings behind some United fans out there, that when they see this, they just think, I know what the problem is. It's like if you go and see a ship, right, and you go below deck and you see water's pouring in, and it's like, or actually no, I'll give one that's a bit more realistic, because if there's a hole in the ship, everyone's dead anyway. Let's say a car goes into a chop shop or a manufacturer, or somewhere where it gets its fixtures. So this car comes in, you can see it's missing a wheel. There's all sorts of problems with it. Doors falling off, windows smashed, everything, right? A United fan is the guy that's in charge of this car, right? So he goes over, looks at this car, is like, all of this is practically made this car completely undrivable. do you know what I'm going to fix first that will make this the most drivable car you've ever seen? I'm not going to stick the fourth wheel on it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to replace the window panels. I'm not going to refit the doors. I'm not going to change out any components of the engine to refresh its operation. I'm going to fix the scratch marks on its front bumper. I'm going to do that first. Because if I do that first, that means this car can drive from Newcastle all the way to Penzance without stops, without anything at all. That's what goes on in some United fans' heads. I'm convinced of it. After some of the opinions that I've had to read up on social medias, my God, I now understand why people say social media, get away from it. Get it off your platforms, your phones, devices, whatever. Get off of there. Because your brain is going to fry. It's going to fry. Newcastle's attack midfield should be more balanced. Well, I'll tell you what, midfield, defence, and the thing is that people were even saying that defence was, was all right. I was hearing people saying the defence was all right in this game because we hadn't conceded goals. So the fact is that Newcastle, what was it, like 11 or 12, from what I had heard, 11 or 12 shots inside our box. The fact that they scored once from 12 attempts inside of the box. Do you know how hard it is to get a shot off target when you're inside the box? Do you know how hard it is? It's usually easier to challenge the goalkeeper than it is to send it into Rosette, to send it all the way into the Stadium of Light. We got away with bloody murder. Again, we should not have conceded one goal. We didn't deserve to only concede one goal. We were so lucky. Tayyib Hussein, good to see you, man. Hope everything's good with you. You beat Everton 3-0. Why they can't take that performance into other games? Well, I'll tell you what, Tayyib. My thought process with the Everton game was that the attack actually found a way to, get goals in the game, right? The attack had found a way to work chances, to create some clear goal scoring opportunities, and that they were taking them. It didn't change or it didn't warp my perception on the state of our midfield, defence, and the goalkeeping situation. The goalkeeper against Everton gave us a clean sheet by pure miraculous chance. By chance, he managed to get us a clean sheet against Everton away. Everton could and should have scored at least 2 to 3 goals in that game. And had they had done so, we wouldn't be talking about beating Everton right now. We would probably be talking either about a draw or a loss. We would be talking about one of those two results. The fact is that we've had an individual that has gone above and beyond to put their stamp on a result, and for me, that result was credit to the attackers of that game. For the chances when they got them, they took them, right? And credit to the goalkeeper. Without his big saves, we don't win that game. Galatasaray, credit to the attackers for their chance creation and getting the goals. But again, midfield and defence up to their usual antics. But the goalkeeper this time was causing us more problems. So actually, it's like he wasn't there for various parts in the game. Today, the opposition created that many chances. Yeah. and they could not keep the ball on target to save their lives. They still won that game. And they should have won it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-0. They should have. However many goals you feel that we should have lost by. Absolutely dominated, couldn't even string 2-3 passes without Newcastle regaining possession. Joelinton ran riot and was immense all game. We had no answer. We made a lot of subs. Right? We made a lot of subs. I, for the life of me, I don't know about everybody else here. I'm wondering if Ten Hag actually does want the sack. That he wants to get out of this because he knows, right? Being a manager of the biggest club in the world, you can't be still thinking positive mindset, guys. You can't still be thinking like that at this point. You must be looking at this and going, I cannot save this, so why prolong it? See, team selections don't really make much sense, right, in respect to individual performances. Some of the substitutions don't make any sense. The fact that Scott McTominay stays on, so we subbed Kobe Minu off to bring on Sofian Amrabat, but McTominay, the guy that's not been present since minute 1, stays on the pitch. Like, the genuine question, what do people have to do? What does Scott McTominay have to do to get dropped? It's like, if I want to get sacked from Man United, I play Marcus Rashford, who could give less of a shit about this club, right? I think he hates Man United. He must do, because nobody that actually loves this club just throws the towel in like that. Nobody does. Marcus Rashford hates Man United. Your actions speak louder than your words, Mr. Politician. 10 Downing Street needs you back in office tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. sharp. Make sure you are on that plane, Marcus. Rishi Sunak wishes to have a cabinet meeting with you tomorrow, Marcus. You are needed back in 10 Downing Street, you bloody politician. Seriously, get out of this club. And that's the thing with Paradox, with your comment about Joelinton running riot. Those guys went on for 90 minutes. These guys they just completely out battled us. The only outfield substitution that was made this game by Newcastle was in the 97th minute. They sub on Richie and take off Gordon. That's to make sure that we didn't scrape a jammy goal to equalise at the end. Nick Pope as well. Nick Pope. Now, feel bad for Newcastle fans, right? That Dubravka coming on to replace Nick Pope, that's again a first-team goalkeeper. That's now on the injury table as well. So now it's like Newcastle have just had more players added to their injury list. That just seems to almost be forever growing at this point. So I don't really know what else there is to. I don't know what there is to say about this performance or for this team anymore. I don't even want to call them a team. Teams would emphasize players, fighting for a common cause, but It's like you almost might as well be saying that these guys are fighting for the common cause of having the biggest wage, have the biggest stealing of a paycheck in football history. It's like, is this some kind of sick challenge that we haven't realised yet? Rajat, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. The best looking United fan we know. Carl, stop it, Carl. You're going to make me blush. Man United is a lethargic club. How is Martial not left? He could have gone at 2018. Interesting you point out Martial. I mean, Marcus Rashford, that guy should have pissed off to PSG. Like, no cap, he should have left. He should have gone to PSG when his brother, decided to talk that sort of a transfer into existence. He should have done that. He should have gone to PSG. Because that guy just doesn't care about this club. So why should we care about him playing for it? Seriously. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Marcus Rashford, the politician. Surprised he doesn't wear a suit and tie on a football pitch. French and gang. Bloody hell, Tony. Bloody hell. We're Moments FC. Well, in various aspects, we are. Dependent on what performance it is that we put in, if we're genuinely just woefully crap. But, in recent times, quite a few of our goals have come in good passages of play. So there is the makings of doing some good work there, but no one has it up here. No one has it up here. Then, like, we can blame players all day. I mean, the manager as well needs to take accountability for this whole concoction of absolute dross. He does. The thing is, again, I'm still in this boat of people want to sack Ten Hag, but again, what does it fix? Because Marcus Rashford just gets to start again. Scott McTominay gets to start again. These players that just don't like this club get to start again. They're mercenaries. They take the paycheck and that is it. Take the paycheck, run off, run around for 90 minutes and piss off back home without a care in the world. Hey Marcus, the United fans, they're all calling you out. It's like, huh? United fan? Who are they? Who are they again? Literally, it's got to be the case. Not good when we're watching that. I feel sorry for anybody that actually, wasted their time, just, literally sat there watching that, hoping for something good. And my God, 8 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday. Think about the amount of people that travelled up there to watch that live. Like, this is the thing, they're going to have to go on all the piss-ups in Newcastle, because I hear Newcastle's actually a fantastic city to have a night out in, and fair plays to the locals in making the local town like that, fair plays to them. Very passionate people up north, but when you travel all of that time for the sake of supporting your team, and they don't support the fans, the team doesn't support the fans. It's absolute daylight robbery. No clue, no plan. Ten Hag looking absolutely clueless at the minute. Players look unbothered as always. Yeah, it's just a whole collective. You know what? And it's, as the title of the stream suggests, non-existent club. Does anybody have the evidence that we are a club at the moment? Does anybody have literal evidence that Manchester United is a football club? Does anybody actually know if we are that?
He did blush. Yeah. Tell you what, if I do start blushing on screen at random points, it's because this room has literally turned into a bloody blast furnace. It's got a little mobile radiator over there that you switch it on for 5 minutes and it goes from being an ice box, right? Something out of Frozen to something out of Terminator. About a span of 5 minutes. Madness. Absolute madness. Like, this room's crazy. And my last room that I used to sleep in my old house, that I thought was crazy. They had an open fireplace as well, so they had a load of shit coming down the chimney. Every time that there was even the slightest inconvenient weather. And this one's just mental. This room's absolutely crazy. The one step, and I'm in. Maguire was good. I mean, Christ almighty, that Maguire was good. You know where he was? Sat pretty much the whole game in his own box. It's where he belongs. He literally sits on. It's like I said the other day. If you've got Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire playing as your centre-back partnership, the only good you're getting from them is when they're goal hanging on the same goal line with their teammate goalkeeper. That's the only time that they're going to be effective. And the fact is that even then, Newcastle don't score more goals than one because their shooting was absolutely woeful. Can't stand Rashford, PR merchant. Rashford thinks he has it up here with his celebration, but he's saying he has a screw. What he needs to do is start doing that. It's just help. Give me brains. Let me loan IQ. Let me loan intelligence, please. Up until that call. We sacked Ten Hag, then what? Owners won't leave, and these dumbasses will get another interim coach. Do you know what? Darren Fletcher might get the interim manager's role. Imagine that if Darren Fletcher gets. Can you imagine that? Darren Fletcher probably. And I'm sorry that I've put that out there, but that's plausible. I'm not joking. That's plausible. He could get given the interim period. I don't think Mitchell van der Gaard would want to take or step up if he's watched his boss get booted down the road. I can't imagine he'd want to stay and play the interim role. He's already turned down a manager's role. So, yeah, Darren Fletcher, Fletchy's at the wheel as soon as you sack Ten Hag. And I'll sit here and I'll literally, if that happens, that announcement happens, I'm going to watch my fan base go into absolute anarchy. Seriously. Absolute anarchy. And I'm going to be sat here. I'm going to put some shades on. I don't smoke, but I might as well smoke a cigar. I'll just say, be careful what you ask for. Because you forget the board we have at this club. You forget every time. These people, they can't tell their arsehole from their elbow. They can't tell the difference between blood and water. Clueless. Absolutely clueless. Should say Rashford United, kids are calling you out. It will stop feeding them. Mate, take us back to the politician Marcus Rashford. I mean, the times when under Ralph Rangnick we were hearing political statements from the guy, but then you'd play in a Manchester derby and just not care, and everyone's just like, man, this guy's a clown, and it's just like, well, bloody hell! Next thing we know, we're going to have someone from Parliament come out and say, "Oh, we back Marcus Rashford." It's like, why the fuck are you talking? Why would someone from Member of Parliament be talking? But you know what? That's probably the most likely place I'd expect a statement to come from. You might as well. I mean, the guy pretty much shares a House of Commons. He probably has his bedroom themed as Westminster. as Downing Street. Do you think there is too much player power at United? They squeezed Josie out. Feels like Eric Ten Hag kind of gave up and wants out with his 15 million payoff. He absolutely does, see. And welcome to the channel, man. Hope everything is good with you. Big ups to you, man. But yeah, player power is absolutely rife at this club. Absolutely rife. And anybody with a wage has leverage. And they literally, guys like John Murtagh, guys like Richard Arnold, previously Edward Ward, you might as well say Patrick Stewart as well now. Like, these players, they've made those guys their bitch. It's incredible. It absolutely is incredible. They got rid of Van Gaal, they got rid of Jose, they got rid of Ollie, they got rid of Ranić, they got rid of, well, they're getting rid of Ten Hag. And Ten Hag, as I've said, I believe he wants out. Do you know what? The club, I don't think they want to spend 15 million to pay him off. I'm sure that they will try and find every excuse to say, we'll hold on to him until Jimbo gets in. We'll hold on to him, but then they'll keep, pushing back announcements and the actual takeover for Sergeant Ratcliffe's 25%. A part of me, a cynical part, though very minuscule, a cynical part of me saying that this Sergeant Ratcliffe 25% is essentially non-existent. That it's just one super massive PR machine spinning something. Now, I don't believe that, but the cynic side to my mind creates that scenario that this is all just one big spin to get fans excited for a new ownership, but the Glazers are going to have full ownership for the rest of time. Oh, true. Eric Ten Hag wants to play more possession and a high line. Yeah. Good evening, Hotfuzz. Liverpool, Man United, 17th of December. Mate, I've already put my vote. I've already cast my vote to get that game called off. Get it called off and just take the forfeit, because seriously, I mean, it would literally just be to spite Liverpool. I would just do it to spite Liverpool. It's like, haha, you can't score more than 3 goals. Can't get more than 3 goals against us. We'll take the 3. We'll take the -3. 3-0 Liverpool. Forfeit result. I'll take it. But no. We'll rock up to Anfield and we'll hold 10. We'll hold 10. But big ups to you, Danny. Always great to see you, mate. Man United need someone at level of Rodrigo at right wing or Coman. We need a whole load of players at that level, but we just don't. We've got a lot of players with the hype of that level, and it does sit around the hype of players like Rodrigo, like the same way people were comparing Marcus Rashford to Kylian Mbappe. Seriously, Marcus Rashford last season was compared to Kylian Mbappe. Listen, I think Kylian Mbappe is overhyped. Don't get me wrong, overrated. But my word, he is stratospheres clear of that guy. Stratospheres clear of Marcus Rashford. It's not even close. And is Havertz so far better than Mount? Yes, he is. He is. He's been more impactful for Arsenal than Mount has been for United. Mount has spent a lot of time on the injury table. He still is injured. So far, that's the only impact he's had. Like, has he scored a goal for us? Has he assisted a goal in the league at all? I don't think he has. I don't think Mason Mount has actually contributed anything. Let me have a look at his stats real quick for the season. Has he actually contributed anything? 1 assist in the EFL Cup. That's it. He's played 8 times in the league, twice in the Carabao Cup, twice in Champions League, and 1 assist. Kai Havertz has scored multiple goals. All good, Tar. Yeti put me onto your channel. Big ups, man. Big ups to Yeti. Go show Longhaired Yeti some love as well. He did a double watch-along stream coverage today for Forest versus Everton. Unfortunately for them, they were beaten 1-0 by Everton. I was expecting Forest to actually get a victory against Everton, something like a 2-0 sort of scoreline. But unfortunately not the case. You know, commiserations not in Forest, but you know, sometimes shit like this happens. But big ups to Yeti, and all the best to him. Why were they waiting to sack Ollie for so long? Because for Ollie, it was a deflection thing. The ownership loved him being there. The guys like Woodward and again, John Murtaugh, Richard Arnold, those guys, they loved Ollie being there because it was always, let's just keep the blame away from anybody at board level. With guys like Ranić actually decided, you know what, I'm going to call out the case of point of this board. I'm calling them out. I'm saying to a press conference, these guys, what the fuck? What is this team? What have you done with £1 billion? And the board was just like, oh no, he's called us out, sack him. So if you don't call the board out, you don't get sacked. If you deflect your tactics, you'll get to stay longer than you should be. Erik ten Hag is floating in between. He's not calling the board out. He's not calling his team out. He is, however, not trying to spin stuff and, you know, deflect. He openly says, look, we're not good enough. And that's literally just the same thing that he says every week. We're not good enough. We're not good enough. Well, you know, you could do things better. But I think we're sort of at the point where I think it doesn't matter what Ten Hag does. It doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter what formation he plays. It doesn't matter his team selection. Those guys are now throwing the towel in. They've thrown the towel in and it is over. It is absolutely over. Manchester United season, we could say it either starts now or the end of the season is when we travel away to Anfield. That's the reality. Can I just say as well, we've got between the 17th of December, we've got Chelsea at home midweek on the 6th. We've then got Bournemouth at home on the 9th. We've then got Bayern at home on the 12th. Then we've got Liverpool away on the 17th. Then we've got West Ham away on the 23rd. Then we've got Aston Villa at home, 26th. Then we've got Forest away on the 30th. Then we've got Tottenham at home, 14th. Wolves away, West Ham at home, Aston Villa away, Luton away, Fulham at home. We are getting smoked. Anfield will be an L. It'll be way worse than an L. Man United are obsessed with the L. They are. He took best Cantona Beckham number and then disappeared. We talk about Marcus Rashford, Mason Mount. I mean, Mason Mount. I saw the link us to Mason Mount. I didn't like the idea that we'd be linked. to Mason Mount. I didn't want that signing to happen. I never wanted it to happen to begin with. And then the signing happened, and then you got given a bloody number 7 shirt because the club wanted to spin and say, look, our new shiny toy, our superstar is here. What the bloody fuck? Superstar Mount, are you fucking high? Man, there's got to be some crazy crack dealers going on at Old Trafford or Carrington, man. There's got to be. Absolute madness. Pedro Neto will be an upgrade on Rashford even. Well, yeah, no, not maybe, definitely. Pedro Neto is a definite upgrade. Definite upgrade. There's a lot of teams in the league that would like him, that would take Pedro Neto. You ask, would you take Marcus Rashford? A lot of people say, nah. Don't want that bum in my team. Don't think players listening to Eric Ten Hag? They're not. They're not. You can't watch that game against Newcastle and say those players are playing for him. You just can't. You just can't. It's not possible. It is not possible. Yeah, Mount. Yeah. Not good. So far, the only player that has looked closest to not being a complete waste of money on a permanent transfer basis is Rasmus Højlund. Onana's signing seemed to be completely futile. Completely and utterly futile. Mason Mount has not found any impact, and we signed him in a position that we didn't need to sign a player for. And he's a jack of all trades, master of none, as Wolfgang Division put it. And everybody else is a loan deal. I mean, Amrabat's a loan. Reguilon's a loan. I mean, Christ, what do we do with that? I would take Rashford at Liverpool. Man, you're crazy. You're crazy. I mean, the thing is, Danny, is if you've got a guy that's obsessed with politics or being a politician, how do you take the politician out of a football player and get him to be committed to playing football? Like, how would you do that? Because if Marcus Rashford, right, the poster child of Manchester United Football Club, walks into Liverpool tomorrow, right, and your club were to offer him like 400k a week, I don't see him lifting his foot off the ground for you. I don't back Marcus Rashford to have a humble desire to be the best football player he can possibly be, to expedite his talents on a football pitch. I don't back him to do anything. And the thing is that even when times get tough, one of the players I'm sure complains the most has got to be Marcus. It's got to be Marcus, because his head drops every other day. Every time on a football pitch, no mentality. I mean, in a Manchester derby, doesn't care. Imagine if Marcus Rashford in a Liverpool shirt in a Merseyside derby doesn't run, doesn't tackle, doesn't fight. You would be so pissed off. So pissed off. Oh, that guy would not be leaving. That guy cannot stay in Merseyside after a stinker performance in a Liverpool shirt. No, sir. No, sir. And that's just... It's like if Mohamed Salah... Imagine if Mohamed Salah, right, just... Yeah, I couldn't give less of a toss in a Merseyside derby, right? Just not fighting, not playing, not tackling, not fighting, not doing anything, right? His head is down, everyone else is trying to do something, and he's just just got dawdling along. Just don't want to be here right now. You would be so mad. You'd be so mad. Mount could be good. I hope he'll be good. I don't want to deal with coulds with Mason Mount, because he could have been good at Derby, was above average at best, could have been good at Chelsea, again, scrapings of good, and that's kind of it. That's kind of all she wrote. You never got a Mason Mount that was, top 5 players in his position in the world, because he's not really a specialist. And that, I think, is a big problem to Mason Mount, or a modern day footballer, is everybody, you tend to find with very modernized players, is that they try and attune themselves to play about 5 different positions, and they never really nail one down as their own. So if no one really knows factually, that's by far his best position, and managers know that. It's like, for example, Harry Kane. He's specialised as a striker. You wouldn't suddenly decide next week, well, Harry Kane's the modern footballer. Do you know where he's starting? Right back. Like, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. And I think if you've got players that are modern, the most you'll ever get out of them is to do a job, right? To be a good soldier, but you've got to have then that elite mentality, because you got like guys like Darren Fletcher and a Fergie team, right? Good soldier, a good soldier, not really specific to a position. John O'Shea, good soldier, never really anything special, but sometimes in a team where you've got superstars and you bring someone like that in, just stick him in the middle of that team, you think on team sheets, what the hell is John O'Shea doing next to Nemanja Vidic? And he'd still go out, and you'd see John O'Shea give something, right? You'd see him fight. Stick him next to Rio Ferdinand, you'd see him fight. He'd be a good soldier for the cause, but we've got nobody that wants to do that. Yes, Opvers, you're right. His mental is shit. He's made out of jelly. It's all just wobbly. There's no structures, no spine. There's no strong mental resolve. And, there's a lot of players in our club that are quite guilty of that as well. And for me, that's got to be addressed. That's got to be addressed real quick. And it's almost pinning all the hopes of finding a way out of this on it being Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming in to change the mentality. And I think that's the first thing he's got to do, is come in, get you guys in the boardroom, and get people where those players immediately start fearing for their careers. The second you've brought that intimidation to the training ground, there's a lot of players that have all of a sudden, for no reason whatsoever, right, with no magical touch from the manager, nothing like that, all of a sudden, when people are real serious businessmen, right, like you just do not cross them, get into the big boss positions, you watch, a lot of those players are going to start, oh, look at me, I'm now suddenly in the purple patch. Well, you weren't in it before, right? Because guys that, don't enable you to get away with this, immediately you start playing better. Now, even then, when your better is still not good enough, that's when you could say a manager, well, maybe getting a new manager in to start with a clean slate here is the ideal choice, the ideal option. But seriously, it's, get someone in there that's got a lot of an absolute crap ton of power, right? That is serious about this, serious about football, serious about upholding the integrity of Manchester United, and straight away these guys, these little bastards that get away with all sorts in that shirt. Straight away, the tune would change. The tune would change in a heartbeat. A certain Angry Rantman quote comes to mind. It does. It absolutely does. But yeah, that's just the reality of it. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap things up there. Big ups to everybody for tuning in. Really appreciate all the love and support you guys I've shown the channel. Massive shout outs to everybody who did stop by. Big ups to the channel regulars as usual. Big ups to the guys of Kudos. It's early morning for him in the land down under. Hope you have a fantastic day, Sunday. I believe it is for you at the moment. Big ups to Danny as well. Not looking forward to 17th of December, man. Rajat, always a pleasure to see you in chat, and a warm welcome to C as well from Long-Haired Yeti's watch along stream. Hopefully, we'll see you back here in future streams as well. Tony Ibarra. I mean, what can we say about Tony Ibarra? Cheers. Cheers to the mad lad. And speaking of other Arsenal presence, legends in the chat, Carl Rossi, one of the most self-personified legends of YouTube or football YouTube. That this guy, you'll only find him in elite chat rooms. In channels, elite channels, in their chats, you'll see this guy in there. And big ups to Carl Rossi, especially when he does his moderation work as well. Stefan as well for United Philosophy, big ups to him. Ran the watch along stream as well for the Newcastle game. Gone to drown his sorrows, as I've heard. I don't blame him in the slightest. Don't blame him. I'm drowning my sorrows. This one's not quite alcoholic. Kind of wish it was. I'm stuck with chocolate milk, but that's kind of my thing. That is kind of my thing. But do show Stefan from United Philosophy some love as well, because he does work relentlessly on Manchester United. Literally, live stream show, news shows, everything every day. Same time, same place, easy to find him, and very interactive as well. So yeah, big ups to Stefan as well. Fantastic channel, fantastic bloke. Taib Hussein as well, fantastic person. Always a pleasure to speak to. Thank you for tuning in. Paradox as well. I think I've seen you in the channel once or twice before. It might have been a little while ago, but if you are a first time channel visitor, then welcome. If not, if you've been here before, I'm sorry that I've not remembered you. But always a pleasure to have somebody in the chat to contribute to conversation. Wolfgang Division, absolute legend, fantastic. Probably will have some content in the start of this week with but on both respective channels, talking about our midweek clash. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, that one's going to be another bloodbath. And that's pretty much everybody that I've shouted out in the chat. And anyone who has not chatted, who's just watched from the back seat, thank you very much for tuning in and watching. I hope you have enjoyed. You've certainly enjoyed this a lot more than I have. Make no mistake about it. But yeah, that's it from me for tonight. Have a good evening, others. You too, Danny. You too, man. Carl Rossi, stamp of approval. Yeah. the Carl Rossi approved stamp. Literally, you'll see it as a little watermark in like the top left of the screen, or top right, sorry, of your screen. I'll be dropping it again. If Rossi and Yeti rate you, I'll be back. I'll be back. Big ups, man. Big ups. You'll see me on a lot of shows with Yeti as well, and Rossi's always floating about in these parts. But massive shout outs to both of them. Later all, good night. Yeah, it is also good night from me. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your Sunday night, wherever you may be, whatever it is you're doing. If you're already on Sunday, or I said Sunday nights, I mean Saturday nights. But a well wished for Sunday as well. Hope everything is all good, and hope you all stay blessed. And we'll be back again, possibly with something tomorrow or Monday. As I've said, we've got Chelsea coming up midweek, so I would expect to you perhaps expect to see some content done with Wolfgang Division or others in the Chelsea sphere. But thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Ciao.